Hey, I just have a few minutes before I'm about to hop on my next tutoring session with a student, and I wanted to run through the summer numbers with you. I'd mentioned in the last video that I was going to do that. I've got them all pulled up, so I thought that would be really quick, really something I just want to share. So, this was a really busy summer, not because I worked more hours though, but because I specialize in three high demand, high paying niches: college essays, SAT, and ACT test prep. And that's what let me charge a premium, stay fully booked for what I wanted my summer schedule to look like, and still only work 3 days a week. That's right. I'm going to show you the real numbers behind that right now, my rate breakdown, my actual schedule, and what I spent, including the extra stuff that I like to save up for in the summer. I always like to buy something to add to my office, something a little bit more expensive, and I'll tell you what that is in just a minute. I'm Daisy Luce. I help others build a flexible, profitable online tutoring business like me, specifically by specializing in a high demand tutoring niche. Welcome to the tutor life. Okay, college essays, SAT, ACT test prep, all three get really busy in the summer. And that's a fantastic thing. Rising seniors need their essays done, test prep ramps up because, of course, kids are out of school. They have time to do it. It's the time to get it done. By specializing in these three things, I have gone from having almost no work in the summer to having too much. That's the whole idea behind specializing in a high demand niche is not only are you going to be super busy, but as I already said, you also get to charge a premium. It's not about working more hours, it's about charging more for the hours you do work because you're worth it. And you can learn how to tutor all of these subjects, the same thing I do as well. I can teach you. And if you're not interested in any of these three topics, you're just interested in learning more about online tutoring in general, that's fine too. If you already have your niche, if you already know what you're good at and what you specialize in, run with it. That's what it's all about. That's what this tutor life is. So let's go through it. Let's talk numbers. I'm going to be totally candid with you about what I made this summer and what I spent. I see creators on here all the time doing this, and it does feel very vulnerable, I have to say. But I always really appreciate when other people share their stats, and I want to do the same thing too, not to brag or anything like that, but just to show you what's possible and kind of take a peek behind the curtain so you can actually see if this is worthwhile and something that you want to do if you haven't started yet. So in June, I brought in 66,720, and in July, 6,285. Total for the summer, because my summer's just 2 months, $13,005. During the school year, I do like to hover closer to 8,000 per month. And this next school year, I think I'm going to be hitting my new goal of closer to 10,000 per month. Yes, you heard that right. 10,000 per month. And I still am not going to be working more than 20 hours a week. That's kind of my cap this year. So, but for the summer, I didn't mind taking a dip a little bit down to 6,000, 6,700. I said there. I didn't mind taking a little dip because I did want it to still feel a little bit like summer and kind of back off a little bit. I never like to drop below 4,000 in a month though. That's definitely my baseline. I always stay above that. And I have had some summers though where I was lucky to make $1,000 over the entire span of the summer. Before I was specializing, a lot of my clients didn't need help in the summertime and it would dip and totally drop off. And let me just mention too, if I didn't want to keep my hours low, which I like to keep them at about 10 to 15 hours per week. If I didn't want to keep them low like that during the summer and I wanted to just explode my business in the summer, can you imagine what my income would actually stretch to then? What your income could be if you wanted to work that amount of hours and work closer to a full-time set of hours? So 101 sessions, let's check this out. I had 101 sessions over the course of the summer. I have my courses are priced at different amounts, partly because of what subject it is, and also because I grandfather my clients in at whatever price they start with me is what they get to always keep, always, even with other kids. I even have one client, I didn't see them this summer, so you don't see them here on the screen, but I have one client that's still at $50, which was my lowest I ever charged ever many, many, many years ago. And you know what? I don't mind at all. Think about that. That family has continued to come back year after year after year to see me, and I want to celebrate that with them, and I don't mind at all keeping them at my lower rate. Add it all up, that should be 12,955 with I think I did see that $50 kid one time this summer, so that was how I broke 13,000 right there. But it's about 1,600 per week over the summer, and that included 2 vacation weeks that I went on. My last video, I'll link it below. I took you through those 2 vacations and showed you what I did while I was on vacation, work-wise, and what I didn't do, and how I kept up with that. And those numbers also do span all 3 subject areas, as I said. So what is my actual schedule? Well, in the summer, client sessions are only available Monday through Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's the only 3 days that I work. And I know that sounds like a long day, but the actual hours I worked averaged out to 10 to 15 hours a week, so about 3 to 5 hours per day, roughly. Spread that across the day, and I've got a couple hours in the morning, take a break, run some errands, an hour or two in the afternoon, take a break, hang out with my kids, a couple my teenage kids if they're even at home. A couple more hours in the evening worked around family dinner or a walk with a friend, something like that, and it's pretty easy schedule. Okay, I didn't make it all the way through the video. I gotta hop off, jump on this call with a student, and I'll be right back. I'm back. Let's talk expenses next. So we talked income, and let's talk expenses now. These were my expenses for the summer. These the expenses here, the $103.75, these are my regular monthly expenses for my tutoring business. I have my Gmail account, which honestly, I don't have to have. I could just, have a free Gmail account. That would be fine. I wanted to use my domain name as part of my Gmail, so I have that. I do have AI. I like Claude is the one I'm using right now because it can create worksheets, these beautiful worksheets. If I need to drum up some practice questions real quick, I can do that easily on Claude. And I also have a co-working membership. This is a club that's actually, it's so weird. It's on my street at the end of the street. I kind of live in a residential slash business zoned area. And so right at the end of my street, there is an office set up there that they've designed for a co-working space, which is one of my favorite places to go. They have fantastic coffee. The just getting out of the house, being down there sometimes to do some work is really fun. And I actually use it for backup electricity. If the electricity fails here, I know they're on my street, but I don't think their electricity is actually on my grid, so they keep power running, and then I can run down there and still have a call if I ever have to, which hasn't happened yet since I've had my co-working membership there, but that has happened in the past where I've lost power and had to scramble. So I just like having that. And then tutoring software. That is actually probably the only expense that I really need at this point. But again, for years, I ran this whole business. almost completely free. I guess the only thing I would have paid for then is Zoom. You don't see Zoom on here because it's not a monthly expense. It is a yearly expense, but I'm about to talk about that next because all my yearly bills, all my annual bills did come due over the summer as well. I had Zoom, like I just said, that was due this summer. Calendly is my scheduler, which I love. I love Calendly. I again, you could do a free option for that too. I just happen to have too many different versions of Calendar, so then I needed to pay for it, but it was worth it. I've got my domain name that came up for licensing and my LLC license. And so that was my annual dues that were due this summer, so I paid those. And then my favorite part, every summer I look forward to saving. I've saved up through the year to purchase like that one fun big purchase. Last summer I bought a new computer, which is I still love. It's great. And that's how I was able to turn my old computer into a stand-up desk over here. And then this summer, I bought my new office chair here. And you can't see it completely, but you can see, kind of the wings here. I love this chair. I did splurge on it. It's not a typical office chair. I wanted something that was a little bit cozier and cute for me and for my office. It just gave me that really fun vibe, and it is so comfortable, which was super important since I am sitting a lot of the time if I'm not doing my stand-up desk. So I bought that this summer too. And those were all my expenses. On top of that, I did have to restock a few supplies for the year, and I spent about $280 between Amazon, Target, Office Depot, and Walmart. Just little things here and there. I just like to try to get it all done and be done once and for all. One thing I'm not including in any of the expenses are any of the vacation costs that I am going to end up getting to write off with taxes. I just didn't put those in because they are variable and I just write them off at the end when tax season comes, the percentage that I'm allowed to do. So let's bring it back. Specializing in three high demand niches is what let me charge what I charge. And then in return, that rate structure is what let me only need to work 3 days a week over the summer to hit my numbers. And that schedule that I have working just Monday through Wednesday is what made 2 trips possible without dropping a single student. And I'm telling you, it's an amazing life to live, living the tutor life. It's so fun, it's so rewarding, and it's been such a great journey that I'm here now talking about it with you, hoping to encourage you on your tutoring journey or helping you take that leap from wherever you are in life, maybe teaching, maybe a corporate job, maybe you're just wanting to do an early retirement, but you still need some income coming in. And I just want to encourage you and guide the way, give any advice that I can about tutoring. So follow me here. Let's keep talking about it. And I'll see you next week. Happy tutoring, friend.